Hey everybody, welcome. Welcome. This is the global community for adult survivors of complex trauma. We have all been here together for the last 5 years, more than 5 years, and we all have been showing up here every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and we have been talking about ways that we are healing and can continue to heal from all forms of ongoing interpersonal trauma and abuse. And I just am honestly blown away. Blown away and honored, and feel myself to be very fortunate to be able to show up here and to be here with you. A very warm welcome to each of you who are here for the very first time. You are joining a community of people who truly love to join together and cheer one another on in our healing journey. So if that is you, you're in the right place. If you're a troll, particularly a potato troll or someone who enjoys just sort of cyberbullying, then you're not welcome here. You'll be deleted. You won't be welcome back. And this is a safe place for people to come who don't have all the answers and who just want to hang out and ask questions, share support, receive support. And I advocate for each and every one of you in whatever ways I can. Hello to Jeffrey Sherman and John Harvey and Poppy and Miss Beachboxer and Be Anything and Hunter. What's up, recovery buddy? And Wally and Blessed Process. Great to see you. Maybe it's Blessed. Blessed Process. Hello to Inverted Halo. And thank you so much to Poppy, who's posting up some guidelines and some links to some crisis support, because this is never crisis support. I am simply here on YouTube, and I am sharing from a lived experience perspective. And hello to Pixie Painter. Hello to all the family, my friendly family of choice. And hello to Gina and Julie and Deborah. Hello to Patty. Oh my goodness. So good to see you, Patty. Patty says, hi, Athena, and all the potato trolls will be turned into some homemade chips. Yes, please. David says, hello, I've been here mostly after the cast, but for the 5 years. So good to see you all. Seriously, so nice to be here. So I figured out a way, right? I figured out a way last week that I can be here with you, answer your questions, be in the chat box with you, and not squint. Hello to Julie Ann. Hello to, oh, I think I got everyone. Aw, you're welcome, Inverted Halo. Hello to Boss. Boss Trash, waving back at you. So I found a way, all the confetti, found a way to sit here, pull my chair up, and I can actually see you, hang out with you, and not have to squint. Because I realized it was causing me an inordinate amount of stress to squint and like I felt like I was gonna miss someone's comment, and then I was gonna hurt their feelings, and it was just causing me a lot of stress. And so I figured out a way to be able to be right here, over here, not necessarily right next to you, so it might be a little hard to hear me, but I'll do my best. And then I can actually see you all. So let's see if it's working. Let me see if I can find you. 1 second. How are you feeling? How's everybody feeling? I'm beyond honored to be here. Like, I'm seriously in awe of our community and how everyone has just stuck together and cheered one another on. And it's really just been incredible. So here we go. It's allowing me to do this thing again, which I'm hoping. Let's see. 1 second here. Oops, nope, cancel, nope. Oh, it won't let me, hold on. Here we go, maybe this, nope, it's not letting me. Weird. We'll figure it out, guys. It worked last week. It worked last week, so let's see if we can make it work this week. Let's see. Let's see if it'll, okay. Don't you love technology? It's either your best friend or your worst enemy, right? Let's see, go back. Thanks for your patience, you all. Let's see. If I go here, is this what I did last week? Let me see if it'll. Yes. I think this is it. I think it's working. Oh my gosh, there you are. Okay. Hey, Tabby Ba. Okay. Hello, Sparta. Hello, Angela. I got each and every one of you. Okay, so I'm gonna do my best to answer questions. Thanks so much for the thumbs up, you guys. When you guys give my videos a thumbs up like that, like if it ends up being helpful for you, then it tells YouTube that the work I'm doing, it actually is helpful. So that's awesome. So I appreciate you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna do my best to answer questions. Blessed Process says, anyone go no contact with an abusive parent before? Yes, yes, yes. I definitely have, and it is not easy, but it's worth it. And it doesn't mean that I don't love my parent, because I do. Like, they're my parents. I love them. And, you know, humans are wired to love their primary object. The primary object is the primary caregiver that you're born into the family. So, but it is hard, very, very, very hard. I just want to validate, if you're struggling with it, that it is a struggle and it's not easy, but it's worth it. And if you want some tips or just a lived experience perspective, then please go ahead and continue to ask. I have done it. It's sort of it's an ongoing process, and it's not a one and done. It's an ongoing boundary that you continue to establish and reestablish and maintain. And it's a hard thing. It's definitely, I guess what I'll say is that it's just a process. And the hardest part, it's kind of like if you have a food addiction. So you can't just stop eating altogether. Like, let's say you have an addiction, and an addiction is one of the coping strategies that you have that helps you to numb stuff or avoid your pain from your childhood trauma, okay? Some common maladaptive coping strategies, and all maladaptive coping strategy is a fancy word for things that used to work that don't work anymore. So let's say one of your coping strategies that is not working for you anymore is an addiction. If that addiction is to an illegal drug or a controlled substance, for all intents and purposes, let's just say that it's possible that you are able to cut out that substance from your life, and you can still live. You'll still be able to live and breathe and survive without that controlled substance, without that addiction, unless that addiction that you have is to food. You can't just stop eating altogether. because you will cease to exist. Your body needs calories to survive. So that makes your healing journey not necessarily harder or easier, just different than someone else's healing journey. So going no contact with a family member that was abusive is kind of like having an addiction to something that you can't just quit completely, like food. Like food is something you can't just quit doing, otherwise you'll cease to exist and you'll die. Your body needs calories. Going no contact with a family member, the reason why I say that that is similar to having an addiction to something besides like a controlled substance, something that you actually need to survive, is there is likely, and I don't know you, you represent 1/7 billionth of the possible healing journeys on the planet. I represent 1/7 billionth of the possible healing journeys on the planet. And what I've noticed is that going no contact with an abusive parent, the reason it's difficult and more complicated than going no contact with, let's say, like an ex-boyfriend or an ex-girlfriend or an ex-boss or coworker, is that, again, this might not be your truth, but this is many people. There's someone in your entire family of origin, maybe it's a cousin or an aunt or an uncle or a sibling or the family pet. So there's someone or something attached to that family of origin, attached to your abusive parent, that you might not want to cut out completely because it would cause you to feel as though you were going to cease to exist. Similarly, if I try to cut out food altogether because it's my most favorite addiction, that because I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs, I don't really partake in anything other than like water, celery juice, carrot juice, sparkling water, coffee, tea, the occasional soda, the occasional juice, different vegetable juices and fruit juices. But like when you decide to delete a controlled substance or a drug or alcohol or something that is not necessary to survive on from your life, like let's say going no contact with like an old coworker, well, you can survive because maybe you don't work there anymore, so you're kind of able to just go no contact, and you're like, that didn't really hurt or change my lifestyle very much because I don't work there anymore. I work at a different place. And so it doesn't really, the pain point really isn't noticeable. But trying to go no contact with an abusive parent, typically from all the thousands of survivors that I've had the privilege of interacting with over the last 5 years or more, there's usually one person or a family pet or a couple of people that we really just want to remain in contact with because we love them and we like them and we think they are, quote, safe enough to be around, and we don't just want to delete them out of our lives forever. Like, we would be sad if we didn't ever see that cousin again or that sibling or that aunt or that grandparent or that uncle or the family pet, right? So going no contact with the abusive parent necessitates a lifestyle change that is not necessarily conducive to your overall well-being or sustainable. If I were to, let's say I decided that I was going to stop eating gluten, stop eating sugar, or stop eating, let's just use gluten or sugar, okay? I could probably delete gluten out of my diet or delete sugar out of my diet for a really, really, really long period of time, and it would be a lifestyle change. And it might even be a sustainable way for me to live. But there's going to come a time when I'm around some sort of a function, some sort of a get-together, some sort of an event. Some day is going to come when I'm going to be tempted to eat sugar or to eat gluten. And so in that moment, my choice to delete gluten or sugar out of my diet, it becomes pretty inconvenient. And that's kind of what it's like to go no contact with an abusive parent. Do I see the benefits of not having gluten or sugar? Especially, let's say I didn't even realize I had celiac disease. Celiac disease is when you eat gluten or consume gluten and you have an adverse reaction, like an allergic reaction, like your throat closes up, or you get thick red rashes on your face, or your digestive system is really, really, really disrupted, or you have tremendous weight gain, or your thyroid acts up, or something happens and you're just like completely dysregulated on like every way, right? So deleting gluten out of your diet is going to incredibly increase the quality of life that you live. And so deleting gluten out of your life is worth it because you see the benefits on a daily basis. You feel clear-headed. You might even lose weight. Let's say that was a goal of yours. You feel better in your body. You don't have discomfort in your gut. Your skin is clearing up. You feel like you have more energy. There's this incredible shift in your perspective. You feel more hopeful. And let's just be real, you feel more sane. There's like a level of sanity that you're enjoying that you're like, wow, I did not have this level of sanity when I was eating gluten. My gosh. Wow, I was like allergic to gluten and I didn't even know it, right? That's what it's like to go no contact with a parent, an abusive parent. You will see the benefits. You will reap the benefits in your life and you will enjoy new levels of clarity. You'll feel better in your body. Your skin might even clear up. Maybe you'll lose some weight. You'll feel more fully present. You won't feel dissociated or like sluggish or like you just are hating life or you're just confused or frustrated or you're just always feeling horrible about yourself. You're going to notice a definite shift in your demeanor and in your overall being. You will just notice something completely different about you, right? And that's a direct benefit of you choosing to go no contact with an abusive parent. However, those temptations outside of your daily life that you have structured, they're going to be there. You're going to want to go to your nephew's first birthday party, or you're going to get invited to your cousin's anniversary dinner, or you're going to perhaps tragically lose a beloved aunt or grandparent, and you will decide in and of yourself that you want to attend the memorial service. And guess what? There's going to be gluten everywhere. That abusive parent is bound to be there. And so there is going to always be that thing that is just right there that's almost going to affect your life in a way that is not helpful. So I hope I have accurately illustrated the benefits of going no contact with an abusive parent by using a food analogy because food is life. because food is my coping strategy for everything. I joke around that I pretty much ate my feelings for the first, I don't know, like 10 years of my healing journey. I ate my feelings. So I'm going to get some water really quick. Hold on, you guys. Okay, I'm back. I had to drink some water, man. Thank goodness I'm not allergic to water, right? Because I wouldn't be able to live. So blessed process, I hope that was helpful for you. Thank you so much for the excellent question. Blessed process says, today has been rough. Oh, I'm so sorry. Tabby Boss says, to blessed process, I went no contact with the mother until she died, and now I'm low contact with my father. Hats off to you, Tabby Ba. That's a really, 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 really difficult thing to do. I personally was low contact with my father until he died, and I was no contact with my mother for less than 3 months until my dad died. And then it was low contact, and since then it's been a combination of no contact to low contact. But I've had those family engagements. I don't want to go no contact with my son and my daughter-in-law, my cousin, because I love them, and they're people that I want to keep in my life. And so I've had several different family engagements that have necessitated me being around my mother. So that's been difficult, because gluten's everywhere and it's difficult, but worth it. But go you, Tabby Ba. And, bless process, I hope that was helpful for you. Please let me know if it was, and if I need to add to what I said, I absolutely will. Hey, Shannon. Shannon says, bless process, I am 2 years no contact with my mother. My father is deceased. Good for you, Shannon. I'm proud of you. And just for the record, y'all, I am no contact to low contact, depending on what's going on with my son and daughter-in-law, for 5 years and 30 days with my mother. So, not always easy, but worth it and necessary for my sanity. I can honestly tell you that it is necessary for my sanity. Blessed Process says, Tabby Ba, I went no contact with my mom today. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm proud of you. Super duper duper proud of you. And I know firsthand how hard that is. It is so hard. So I'm just offering you a lot of compassion and just offering you a lot of compassion and support, Hey, Butterfly Mama. Butterfly Mama says, wow, I'm having a problem going no contact with my abusive parent. Ooh, I'm offering you so much comfort and compassion. It's so hard. Boss Trash says, Blessed Process says, Butterfly Mama, when did you start going no contact? Boss Trash says, oh man, my problem is that I still have to rely on my narcissistic parents for some financial help. Ooh, that is so hard, Boss Trash. I'm offering you so much compassion, and just know that right now is temporary. This isn't going to be your forever, okay? And I support you 100% to do what you need to do for your sanity. And if you need help financially, then you need help financially. You do what's best for you. Butterfly Mama says to Blessed Process, 1.5 years ago is when she started going no contact with her narcissistic mom. Inverted Halo says, I really struggle to value family. I don't know why. Well, it could be, it could be that you had such a tumultuous and painful family experience with your family of origin that on a subconscious level, there really isn't anything for you to value that feels safe. It could be that you're just not able to feel safe, Inverted Halo. That's a possibility, Oh, Boss Trash is sending Jeffrey Sherman some virtual support cats. Hey, what did I miss? What's going on with Jeffrey Sherman? Did I miss something, Jeffrey? I think I missed it. I'm offering you compassion. John Harvey says, Hunter, everyone has their right to the way they have their emotions and when they have them. Absolutely. Hey, Miss Beachboxer. Oh, Blessed Process says abuse ended her narcissistic tactics. The abuse ended and her narcissistic tactics continue, and it is hurting me still. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm so sorry. Hunter says, John Harvey, true. And people are either patronizing or insensitive. Yeah, that's hard. Oh, it's so hard. Tabby Boss says, even if you talk to her, you are probably emotionally distant. Yeah, Jeffrey Sherman says, yeah, to emotional distance, for sure. Warm welcome to Stacy Styles and Sparta. It is great to have you with us. Poppy says, hey, Blue Wrench crew, thank you for always being here. We appreciate you. We do appreciate you. Thank you so much to you, Poppy and Shannon and all the Blue Wrench crew for making this possible. 5+ years we have been here together. And it is just incredible, right? Really, 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 really incredible. So Tabby Boss says, it really helped me. Oh, Jeffrey Sherman, I want to make sure that you got the virtual support cats that Boss Trash sent you. You see my birdies flying by? You guys, they're all flying by. They're so cute. They're not up close right now on the flowers and the trees. Ooh, there's a car down there driving around. Are they driving on the grass? Some of them drive on the grass. Tabiwa says, it really just helped to stop caring about what they said or did. Even in the same room, I stayed distant. Yeah. I have certain people in my life that I must remain emotionally distant with in lieu of going no contact, because people that are around them or caregivers that are around them are people that I want in my life, that I choose to stay close with because I want to. Like, I have a few people in my life that I really want to stay in contact with, that I really care about deeply. And since they are still in contact with people that I would prefer not to be around, rather than going no contact with them, which I'm usually no contact, but if I happen to be around one of the loved ones that I want to be around and the abusive person is there, I will truly just maintain my emotional distance the way that Tabby Ba has described. It is really, 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 really painful and frustrating, and not everybody understands it. In fact, not very many people do understand it. But that's okay. It's my journey, it's not theirs, so there's that. David Hyde says, I went no contact because I would not be here today. Amen, brother. That is me. That is totally, I would not be alive right now. I was slowly going insane, and I couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. I was just like so confused. I couldn't figure it out. I was being constantly gaslit on a daily basis, and it was just so confusing. And I mean, I was having like hallucinations, like audible hallucinations, visual hallucinations. I was so completely emotionally dysregulated and gaslit, and I was having a traumatic break with reality. It was really, really, really scary. So just know that you're worth it. Anyone struggling to separate yourself from a toxic person, whether it's your neighbor, your coworker, your mom, dad, grandma, brother, sister, friend, you know, whoever it might be, just know that you're worth it. And it's difficult, but it's worth it. You're worth it. And it is possible, even though it's not easy. So Sparta says, dealing with a spouse and family, hiding an incest, that has happened, creating a mental instability throughout the marriage, impacting the kids since she sides with the parents to separate. Oh, that sounds so painful. I'm just offering you so much compassion and support, Sparta. My goodness. That is difficult and painful, and you deserve to be safe, and so do the kids. Blessed Process says, my mom brings me down and triggers emotional flashbacks and shame. You know, that happened with me as well, Blessed Process. Really, 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 really. It is exactly the way it happened with me. So John Harvey is surfing right now. I think John Harvey and Hunter are surfing right now. Maybe they're riding the waves of emotions, maybe up and down. Maybe I missed it. But regardless of what's going on, I hope you guys are having fun surfing. I'm a little jealous. I don't know how to surf anymore. I used to know how to surf, but I had a bad experience and I no longer surf. But yeah, Blessed Process. My mom definitely did that, and it was really, really, really difficult for me. Super duper duper difficult. Warm welcome to Wally and Be Anything and Gina Justice and Julie and Deborah and Pixie Painter and Patty. Jeffrey Sherman says, thank you, Boss Trash. I'm sending virtual hugs your way. Shannon says, I went to so very few family functions for years before going no contact, so that didn't enter into my decision too much. Good for you, Shannon. Go you. Go you. I'm proud of you, Shannon. Seriously, it's the hardest thing to do. Jeffrey Sherman says, yes, Tabby Ba, you have to keep your wits and your emotional state. Yes. Absolutely. It's hard too, you guys. My goodness. So Sparta says, yeah, the separation has been good around the house. It looks like demonic possession. It's damaging to our kids since she denies any of the mental problems. Oh my gosh, that is just so not right. That is so wrong. I'm hoping for the best for you, Sparta. You deserve to feel safe and to create safety for the children. Butterfly Mama says that her mother abused her. Her mother who abused her saw her yesterday for a while, and then today she has felt so lost in life. I'm so sorry, Butterfly Mama. You deserve to feel solid and good and healthy, and I advocate and support and honor your process. Each and every one of you, you are all here. You're showing up for yourself. You're doing the very best you can, and I just honor your process. Tabby Boss says, oh yeah, going no contact opened other doors for me. Good for you, Tabby Ba. Good for you, Tabby Ba. Shannon says, while my dad was alive, it wouldn't have been so possible to go no contact with my mother. It does create, some issues. It's really, really difficult, depending on the connection, right? Inverted Halo says, does this apply for neglect as well? I'm not sure which or what, but yes, if you were neglected, and childhood neglect is considered interpersonal trauma, particularly if it was ongoing in childhood and you were being neglected in childhood for long periods of time. It affects your psyche and it affects your development. So since this channel is mostly devoted to talking about interpersonal trauma that began in childhood, then I would say yes. The answer would be yes. Blessed Process says, Shannon, same. I have a large family that never got too close to me for whatever reason. Maybe my mom pushed them away. Who knows? I'm so sorry, you all. We deserve to be loved and cared for and to feel safe and to be treasured and appreciated and accepted and loved unconditionally. And we deserved kind glances and warm welcomes. And when we say goodbye to our family, we deserve a fond farewell, and we deserve Unconditional warm regard. That is what humans deserve from other humans. I know that that's not, the way it all goes down, but there are very few people in my life that I do not show unconditional warm regard. I just know how painful it is to be emotionally tortured by others. It is just so painful. So just know that that's what you deserved. Poor Poppy. Poppy says, or you find out your father has died after the funeral. I'm so sorry, Miss Poppy. Oh my goodness. Oh, Angela says it's so good to see you all. It's wonderful to see you too, Angela. Jeffrey Sherman says, Butterfly Mama, I'm so sorry. Safe hugs. And I am so sorry to you, Poppy. Safe hugs. Shannon says, narcissists are famous for spreading lies with a grain of truth in them about us to everybody. I'm sure that's why my cousins didn't have much contact with me. That is possible, and I'm so sorry, Shannon. You deserved so much more. Sparta says, the family is active in trying to frame abuse on me to continue hiding the abuse before I arrived. It is very sad, but it won't work. They have been abusing her like this for a while. Well, I certainly hope they don't succeed in trying to frame you. My goodness. It's just so wrong. It's so unjust. My goodness. Hey, Donovan. Long time no see, Donovan. Oh. Hey, Sue. My chat box just decided to have a mind of its own and it flew somewhere. John Harvey says, part of me wants to go no contact with the human race, but that is something I can't really do. I'm with you, John Harvey. I have felt that way before. I have definitely felt that way before. And I don't recommend it because you'll miss out on the joys of connecting with other wonderful people like those that we have here. And you'll rob everyone of the blessing of getting to know you. I'm so grateful that I get to know you, John Harvey. So grateful. Angela says, I was thinking about my DID and thinking that I wish I could go no contact with my alters. Sometimes they are so noisy and I just want to be alone. I'm so sorry, Angela. Oh, I'm offering you hugs, safe hugs and compassion. That's just is so hard. Jeffrey says, wow, Angela, compassion and sympathy to you with a beautiful heart. Angela says, Jeffrey Sherman, thank you. Jeffrey Sherman says, I can't imagine what that must be like. Neither can I, and I'm so sorry you're going through that, Angela. I'm offering you so much compassion. Angela, whatever happened with your sister that decided she was just going to up and visit for like a full week? Give us the debrief, girl, if you feel like it. And if you don't feel like it, that's fine. But I was thinking of you. David says, even today, my mother would completely screw my life and act like she did not do that if my parents had their way. I would have never left home because of their needs. I needed to stop the noise. Good for you stopping the noise. My goodness, that sounds like a lot going on, David. I'm so glad that you're doing what's best for you. You deserve a life that you enjoy and love. Good for you. Be anything, says John Harvey. You will always have you and your humanness. Yes. Shannon says, inverted halo, neglect hurts very much too. I second Poppy's missions viewpoint. I missed Poppy's viewpoint. Oh, Poppy says, inverted halo, in my humble opinion, yes, it applies to neglect also. Yes, I agree as well. I think all of us are in agreement. Great to see you, Sue. Sue says, I was having so much fun making homemade herbal compounds in the kitchen, I lost track of time. Hi, everyone. Oh, so glad to see you, Sue. Hello. Please go back to making your homemade herbal compounds. That sounds amazing. We will hold this space for you. Be Anything says, night everyone, I'm too exhausted tonight. Oh, well, safe hugs to you. Safe, 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 safe hugs to you. And be kind and gentle with yourself because you're worth it. Angela says, I am no contact with my abusive father, though sometimes I feel guilty because he's struggling in health and finances and he has no one. Oh, that was my dad too, Angela. Oh, I'm so sorry. I know exactly what that feels like. Oh, that's painful. Oh my gosh. Lots of good nights and safe hugs and high fives and love and everything sent out to you, Be Anything. Angela says to take care, Be Anything, and she says that she's tired too. She's going to go to bed early tonight. Yeah. Jeffrey Sherman says, DID is something that rather intrigues me. I'm sorry it is such a difficult thing in your own mind. Absolutely. Donovan Caesar, so happy to see you, mister. It's been so long. I was looking at all your piano stuff and I was like fantasizing about hiring you to play some sort of fancy special gig at like Carnegie Hall in New York City someday. Like, I'm like, he could be our pianist. It would be amazing. I was dreaming, you know, but like, seriously, you're so gifted. Let's see. Shannon says, oh, Boss Trash says, I have DID. Oh, I'm so sorry. You guys, I'm just offering you so much compassion. You all are so brave to just show up and advocate for yourself. Shannon says, narcissistic tactics are often narcissistic abuse. It is a horrible kind of abuse. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, it is a horrible kind of abuse. Oh, Boss Trash says, that emoji is not what I meant it to be. Oh, I think it's the astonished one. Is it the astonished emoji? It doesn't look like it's astonished, though. It looks like it's like, oh, like dreading, you know. Poppy's offering safe hugs for anyone that needs them. And she says, your feelings are valid, my friend. Angela, that's a really tough situation to be in. Yeah. And Shannon says, all abuse is awful. Of course, it is. Angela says, Jeffrey Sherman, it's very alienating, DID, and sometimes downright scary because my alters will hijack me sometimes, and then I will end up doing stuff I didn't decide to do. I'm so sorry, Miss Angela. I'm offering you safe hugs. Donovan says, I was rewatching some older episodes today and I cried my eyes out. I don't know how I would teach those feelings otherwise. Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry you were crying your eyes out, but I'm glad you were able to reach those feelings, because sometimes it's like good to have that release, you know. I'm hoping that was the case for you, but I'm offering you safe hugs. Even if it was a cathartic cry, like, I'm still offering you safe hugs. Angela says, Jeffrey, like today I sat down to write, but a few of my alters felt that they would rather watch YouTube and then barely let me get anything done. I'm sorry, Angela. That sounds like it could be frustrating. You're doing so good just by being here and advocating for yourself. I'm really proud of you. Boss Trash says, with communication, you can break down the dissociative barriers and be more aware of what your alters are doing. That's interesting. You see my birdies flying by, you guys? Oh, Hunter says, Angela, I have been having trouble with writing as well. Oh, Shannon says, Donovan, I've been there with the older episodes. Oh. Angela says, Boss Trash, thank you. I tried to, but sometimes it's hard. How do you deal with it? Yeah, I would love to know how you deal with that. So Jeffrey Sherman says, so do you lose time? Do your alters have different looks, ages, genders? Angela says, Jeffrey Sherman, I don't lose time, though sometimes I wish I did. They have different ages and genders, only one male though. That is so interesting, Angela. Thank you for sharing your process with us. Inverted Halo says, Boss Trash, I know there are many DID groups on Facebook. And Boss Trash says, yeah, it takes a long time, Angela. I use a journal and a personal Discord server for my system. When one altar wants to do something that's not in my plans, I try to come to a middle ground. That seems like it's a very healthy choice for you, Boss Trash. Sparta says, we need a vacation. Yes, we do. Angela says, Boss Trash, a Discord server. That is a brilliant idea. Seriously. Yes. Jeffrey wants to know, Angela, can you talk to them at will? Do you know when they were created and why? That's a great question. Angela says, Boss Trash, my therapist always makes me do this conference room exercise to help me get used to talking to them, but I love Discord and that would work so much better. Angela says, Hunter and John Harvey, wow, you guys surf. I would love to try that someday. So Pixie Painter says, I have gone zero contact with my narcissistic family for the last year. I am struggling with the sudden change after being conditioned for my whole life. Oh my gosh, absolutely. It is a huge shock to the system. Like seriously, a huge shock to the system. That's really, really, really just a lot to deal with. Like the whole no contact thing. It is just, it's like there's like a, like, I mean, I've never been like addicted to like a drug, like a substance, but I imagine that going no contact, like I imagine that that's what withdrawal would feel like. If I was like a full-blown daily, multiple time a day addict to a certain, like a controlled substance, I imagine that that's what going no contact would feel like. Because it was absolutely physically, like, it was absolutely terrible and painful and traumatizing. And I don't even know how to describe it. I really don't. I really don't know how to describe the first year or so. It was very, very excruciating and confusing and painful, and I doubted myself like every day, and oh, it's just really, really hard. Yeah. Blessed Process says, I appreciate all the nice comments and input. God bless you all. I wouldn't wish trauma on my worst enemy if I had any. Me neither, Blessed Process. It is really painful to heal from trauma. Hunter says, we're surfing emotions, not water. Sadly. I hope you get to surf someday. Yeah. Angela says, Jeffrey Sherman, I can and I know that they were created to deal with different stages of my abuse and different abusers. So I understand why they exist and they helped me, but it's hard. I bet it is hard. Seriously. My goodness. Angela says, Hunter, I bet you're good at emotional surfing though. John Harvey says, I don't surf and I wouldn't try in real life because of the sharks. There are sharks out there, right? Like seriously, the sharks do exist. Poppy says, Pixie Painter, I hear you. Unconsciously, I avoided going no contact in an attempt to avoid being abandoned again. And when I finally got out, the conditioning felt devastating. You are not alone. Seriously devastating. Like seriously. Like physically gut-wrenching pain. I don't even know how to describe it. Horrible, horrible, horrible. Like really confusing and painful, like physically painful. Really seriously. Tabby Boss says, I mean, I tried until I was about 35 to gain the mother's love, but then I finally gave up and I moved her to acquaintance status. And then there's a little smirky face with a thumbs up. Good job, Tabby Ba. Good job. I'm so proud of you. So Boss Trash says, surfing is fun. They're actually surfboards with patterns that camouflage them from sharks. No way. You think I would know that living in Hawaii, but I didn't know that. That's awesome. Inverted Halo says, thanks everyone, I gotta get back to work. Bye. Bye everybody. Bye Inverted Halo. Jeffrey Sherman says, it's so cool that you know all that, Angela. Oops. Oh no. My thing moved again. All on its own. It makes it really difficult. No. Where did it go? Oh no, I lost my place. Did you see my beautiful white birdie flying by? Oh, here we go. Angela says, Point Break is my favorite Keanu Reeves movie, and he surfs a lot in it. I love that movie. I think Patrick Swayze was in that movie, wasn't he? Gosh, I'm dating myself. That's like way back in the day, right? Sue says, thanks for coming, Inverted Halo. And Shannon says, my dad was a stand-up guy who also got narcissistically abused by my mom, too. When I was young, he was very loving. High school and beyond, he isolated himself a lot. I'm so sorry, Shannon. That's so painful. So painful. I'm so sorry, Shannon. I'm offering you so much compassion. Blessed Process says, I have found I neglect her in all my prayers, and I love you all, and I don't want anyone to ever feel unlovable. Oh, wait, Blessed Process says, I found I neglect you all in my prayers, and I love you all, and I don't want anyone to feel unlovable. Thank you so much for saying that, Blessed Process. If you remember us in your prayers, that's okay, and if you don't, that's okay too. Life gets busy, you know, but I'm just offering you lots of prayers in return and love and just unconditional warm regard and kindness because you're worth it. Hunter says, I love the night in my room with the door locked. I can release all my emotions freely. Good for you, Hunter. You gotta have that release, right? Seriously. Angela says, Jeffrey Sherman, thank you. I have never talked so openly about my DID before, so I'm grateful I can do it here. You can always do it here. Good for you. I'm so proud of you. John Harvey says, Angela, good movies. Oh, it's a good movie. Point Break is a good movie. And he's got a lot that I like too. Yeah, me too. I like Keanu Reeves. He was the voice in Toy Story 4 of Duke Kaboom, the Canadian motorcycle rider. Wally says, I'm sorry. Oh, thanks, Wally. You all, I'm offering you so much compassion, anyone who needs it. Safe hugs being offered as well. And virtual tea and cookies and anything else that sounds delish. Blessed Process says, oops, I deleted what I was going to say about neglect. No problem. Angela says, John Harvey, yes, totally. He's a good actor and a good person. Oh, Shannon says, I meant my high school years, not my dad's. We knew that. It's okay, Shannon. So Boss Trash says, also, I wanted to thank you, Athena. Oh, you're welcome. Boss Trash says, I watched your video on finding safe enough people, and I made a friend in real life after 5 years of being isolated. Oh my gosh, you're welcome. Oh, I just got the chills from like head to toe. I'm so glad. Sometimes, I mean, it's hard for me to walk my talk sometimes because it doesn't have to be forever. Just because I make a friend IRL, in real life, whatever, after being isolated, it doesn't have to be my bestie. We don't have to be friends forever. We don't have to be BFFs, right? Like, they can just be someone that I was able to connect with on a real level that wasn't toxic or exploitative. I'm going to say that again. Don't miss this. If we actually find the courage to connect with another person, it doesn't have to be forever. They don't have to be our BFF. It can just be for a moment or some sort of real human connection that isn't toxic or exploitative. We deserve that. We are deserving of human connection. Pixie Painter says, thank you so much, Poppy. Blessed Process says, I definitely don't neglect my prayers. What I was going to say, I found I neglect my emotions. Aw, that's okay. Either way, it's okay. But I neglect my emotions too. I do. I push them back and I push them down and I push them aside and I ignore them and I try to dress them up all fancy and put some makeup on them so that they look presentable, and it's just like, seriously, I go through a lot of trouble, you know what I'm saying? It's really hard. So don't worry. We're all just a work in progress. Jeffrey Sherman says, I wish I could emotionally surf. I would never wipe out. I wouldn't be overtaken by any waves of negativity. Oh, how cool would that be, Jeffrey Sherman? Angela says, Hunter, it is frustrating to want to write and struggle with it. I hope you can get your story done. Yeah, I hope that for you too as well, Hunter, recovery buddy. I hope you get to continue writing. Butterfly Mama says, I'm grateful to be here. It's good to come here and be with like-minded others. Awesome. It's wonderful to have you. It's great to have you here. Hunter says, thanks, Angela. Boss Trash says, OMG, Angela, can we trade about going no contact with alters? Mine never talk to me. Oh, isn't that interesting? I was talking with a client today and I was like, because she wished that she could apply part of my process that I have in trauma therapy to her trauma therapy. And I wish that I could apply part of my process in trauma therapy, or her process to my process. And we related it to if you have curly hair, you wish your hair was straight. And if you have straight hair, you wish your hair was curly. It's kind of like that, I'm assuming, right? With what you're sharing, Angela, and what you're sharing, Boss Trash. Angela says, oh, right, about my sister. She did go to her house, but left her kids with my mom where I live, which was much easier on me than if she had stayed the week. She came to pick up the kids today and left. Good. Yay, all the confetti. I'm celebrating that for you and with you, Angela, because I was thinking about you the whole week. My goodness. Jeffrey Sherman says, I'm glad I could provide a safe space for you, Angela. Angela says, so all in all, it was a bit stressful, but it worked out better than I thought. And Jeffrey says, that is great, Angela. Yeah, definitely. Hey, Lance, great to see you. Lance says, hi, guys. I got caught up in the always wonderful SoCal traffic. Ugh. Oh, no. Were you on the 405, the 5, the 101, the 10, the 15, the 215, the 60, the dreaded 91 parking lot? Where were you, Lance? My goodness. Can't believe I remember all those. 55? I used to commute every single day, 57 to the 5 to the 55 to the 405, every day. And then back every day. It was crazy. So Angela says, thanks so much, Jeffrey Sherman. I'm here for you too. Yes. John Harvey says, Angela, I am glad that you survived your sister, and I know how that feels, dealing with family members like her. Seriously. It can be really hard, especially when they infiltrate your home and they just drop their kids off and then they decide that they're going to stay for several days on end, and you're like, what? At what point did I say that this was okay? Shannon says, Angela, that sounds so hard, the situation with your father. Absolutely. So, I missed the part with your father, I think. Oh no, maybe it was the part with your sister, and maybe it was your father as well. Susan Johnson says, it's hard to talk about things that happened in the past, and I wonder if anyone would have gone through similar things. It is hard to talk sometimes, you know? It's hard to talk about things that we've been through. It's definitely not easy. I struggle to access my emotions in trauma therapy, and I keep myself from healing because I will stay in my fully functioning adult self, talking about business and things that keep me in my prefrontal cortex and in the left hemisphere of my brain. Rarely do I want to journey over into the right hemisphere of my brain where I experience all of my trauma and I have my in-body experiences. It's very, very, very difficult for me to do that. Even though I know it would benefit me. It's a really hard thing to do. Angela says, John Harvey, thank you. And Shannon, it is, but I know the right thing is to stay no contact. Emotions are hard. They absolutely are. They're so hard. Jeffrey Sherman says, thanks. Thanks, Angela. This is my safe space. This is my safe space too. Wally says, thanks. Angela says, thanks, Athena. Blessed Process says, Angela, I'm with you. We got to stay strong to heal. Abusers trigger shame and pain in my experience at the very least. Yeah, Jeffrey Sherman says, so much shame. Seriously. Tabby Boss says, after many years, my parts are talking in therapy a little. Well, that's a huge win. That's awesome. That's amazing. Good job, Tabby. Good job, Tabby Ba. High five. Sue says, Angela, thanks for talking about DID openly. I'm probably pretty darn close. It's frustrating. Yeah. It is very frustrating to talk openly about whatever is ailing us, you know? Very, very, very hard. John Harvey says, I saw the movie Dr. Sleep, and it had one scene that was hard to watch. I would skip it if you have a trigger by seeing a kid being tortured. Yeah, I won't be watching Dr. Sleep. Nope. Thank you for warning me. I definitely won't be watching that, John Harvey. No, 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 no. Jeffrey Sherman says, I'm trying so hard to act normal and like I'm not full of misplaced shame. At least I know it's toxic and misplaced shame. It doesn't belong to me. No, it does not, Jeffrey Sherman, but it's still hard. It's still really hard, Jeffrey Sherman. Gina Justice says, Sue Johnson, yes, you are not alone. I feel the same. I'm so sorry. Safe hugs. Yeah. Yeah, safe hugs. I'm with Gina. Safe hugs, Susan. Angela says, Sue, I'm blushing a little because I never talk about it openly, but I hope by being open it can help us heal. Absolutely. I think it definitely helps us heal. So Blessed Process says, Jeffrey, I feel ashamed just to speak or be myself. I struggled like that for years as well, Blessed Process. It's totally not you. It's just the nature of trauma. There's a shame component. Ooh, you know what I did? I did a thing. Okay, Blessed Process. Hopefully my chat box won't move. Hold on. I bought this book. I made this commitment to myself that I would start documenting my process, being more intentional about documenting my process. If I do like an audio podcast, I'm going to tell you guys about it, okay? So that maybe if you guys are into audio podcasts, you can like click on it and listen to it. And so I did a thing I decided that I was going to start documenting my process. It's going to be called Just My Process. I know, what an interesting name, right? Not. But I'm going to be going through this book with my trauma therapist. It's called Conquering Shame and Codependency, 8 Steps to Freeing the True You by Darlene Lancer. So I'm going to be documenting my process. Document. And I'll let you guys know about it if you're interested. Oh, and speaking of being interested, there's this software that I use. It's called Kajabi. And I use the software for the foundation that I started for complex trauma survivors. And I offer like daily calls and book clubs and replays, and there's like hundreds of hours of archived, like me leading calls and just doing this, exactly what we're doing right now. Anyway, they just got an app, and when you touch the app, you download it for free, and you enter the email address that you use to sign up for like whatever it is that you're doing with us, and it pops onto your phone instantly and immediately. Like, it's amazing. I did it before the call today, and it's kind of new, so I'm sure they're still working out the bugs, but I'm just over the moon about the whole thing. It's amazing. So I don't know how to put the link. I don't know the link of what to do, of what to give you or send you or whatever. But the stuff that I end up doing, the Just My Process, the thing I just told you about, like the audio podcast type thing, you'll need to like sign up for it on my website, the CPTSD website. There's no place to sign up for it yet, though. There's no place. But if you can send a contact form that says I'm interested in Athena's podcast called Just My Process, and then we can send you a link or something, and like all you have to do is click, and then it would pop up onto your phone immediately, and you'd just be able to listen to it, obviously, and just follow along and hang out. And I'm not doing anything live yet with it like I do here, but I mean, how cool would that be? Eventually we could do that. But I really think I need to be more intentional about documenting my process. I know it's been 5 years, and I've sort of kind of documented my process, like my weekly process here, every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. But like, this is more of like a daily thing, like every single day, like what it looks like and like what it's like. And it's like, so, it's a lot going on, but, oh my gosh, the chat box moves so fast. My goodness, I lost all the things. I lost everything. What time is it? Oh, my husband's gonna be home any minute, you guys. My husband is no longer at his what you call it, his the job that he was at, and so now he leaves for a couple hours on Mondays while I lead my groups and record my videos, and then he's coming home, and so yeah, he's gonna be home like any minute. Not that it would matter if he walked in. He'd probably be like, "Hey everybody, hi." So I lost my spot in the chat box, but I just wanted to let you know just how grateful I am to be here with each and every one of you, and I always want to know, how can I best support you? Just let me know, like in the comment section below, down below this video, how can I best support you? And have you connected with me over through the foundation yet? We're going to be getting our 501c3, our nonprofit designation here pretty soon, and that means that I'll be eligible for like grants and donations, and that means that I'll be able to provide more stuff for free to each and every one of you. I mean, right now it's very, 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 very affordable. I really think it's like $5 or $10, like $10 for book club, and that's like weekly, going through trauma books, which, by the way, we're going to be doing Pete Walker's book, Complex PTSD from Surviving to Thriving. But we also do daily calls, and we also have all the replays, like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of hours of call replays, just like these, exactly like we're doing right now, identical to what we're doing right now. Only there's no picture of my porch. So it's actually like helpful screen share information. And it's private, it's not social media driven, so it's on my private server. And yeah, so anyway, connect with me there so we can be closer connected if you want. Otherwise, I'll just continue to come back here every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. And let's do hearts like I did last week. You get a heart, you get a heart, you get a heart, everybody gets a heart, everybody gets a heart. I feel like Oprah. You get a heart, you get a heart. It won't let me, it won't let me. It's like, it's cutting me off. It's saying you're not allowed to do it. It won't let me give you all the hearts. There we go. Boom, look at that. Let's try that again. I'm doing sparkling hearts this time. You get a heart, you get a heart, you get a heart, you get a heart. Everybody gets a heart. Oh, it is sunset, right? The sun is setting, you guys. Oh, I wish it snowed here. There's never snow here. It's like, it will be like once in a blue moon that it would ever snow here. And it wouldn't snow by my house. It would only be like up by the volcano. So, oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome, Shannon. Thank you for the hearts, Pixie Painter. Thanks for the sweet dreams and the good night greetings, John Harvey. Thanks for the hearts, Angela. Thanks for the hearts, Tabby Ba. You are so welcome, Butterfly Mama. Oh, it does think I'm spamming, Poppy. It thinks I'm a spammer. Thank you for the hearts, Boss Trash. Thank you for the heart eyes, Nicole. Thank you for saying that it's a beautiful sunset, Angela. Good night, Hunter. I'm with Gina. I love snow. Yes, 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 yes. You all are so amazing. Aww. Thanks for the hearts, Jeffrey and Butterfly Mama. Gina says, Hunter, good night. Your kind words are always noticed. Thank you for being here. Shannon says, thank you for the live stream. You're welcome. Thanks for the hearts, John Harvey. Good night, Angela. Oh, Nicole says, this community's helped me heal. I'm so glad. Blessed Process says, thanks for this, Athena. It helps not to feel so alone. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for sharing your thoughts and struggles. It takes courage to share. It absolutely takes courage to share. Good night, Patty Nolan. Good night, Gina. Good night, Pixie Painter. Aww. You are worth it. I agree with Jeffrey Sherman. Good night, family. Oops. There. Everybody gets a heart. You get a heart. You get a heart. You get a heart. Oh, it just tickles me. Okay. Okay, I'm done, you guys. I will see you next week. Every Monday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and we will just hang out and heal. That's what we'll do. Hang out and heal. I'm hugging you right back, Nicole, offering you safe hugs. There we go. Good night, everyone. Thanks for being here.